Starting a garden doesn't have to be nearly as intimidating as you might think it is. Even though you want to grow food, I know a lot of people are like, how do I even begin? So I really want to show you today how simple it really is and how you can do this with things that are really readily available and not very expensive to pick up. Here is the area where we have grown a lot of our food, but it's just not enough space. And so I am out in my orchard and all of this is grassed area. I really need to expand our garden this year, so I am going to be turning this grassed area into more growing space for our own family. Behind me right here, this is an area where I have grown potatoes in the past year, and it just has been this really frustrating endeavor for me because I have so many thistles that are growing. Now, if you have ground that looks more similar to this, where you have mostly just weeds growing, you can take a hoe and just knock those weeds down, and then you're going to start layering things in here. You need to get yourself some probably good compost, some leaf mulch, some really good nutrients, and start layering these in, and then top it off with some mulch. That's really going to suppress the weeds. So that's what I'm going to be doing over here. But over on the other side, where I'm dealing with straight up grass, I would kill myself if I was out here trying to use a hoe and remove all of this grass. Now, there are some things on the market that you could go and probably rent from a local rental place. My brother-in-law Chuck just rented a sod cutter, and so he went in and he cut all of the sod out, and that worked really well for him. But I'm looking for something that's a little bit less intense on the workload, that I can get things planted much more quickly.
This is a good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the knife. And I can feel the sun on my skin.
I can eat! Finally! Yeah!
Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today is a good day to live. This morning has a clear light as any to see the horizon in the far.
Fast forward just a couple of days, it got incredibly windy the other day, and I had to put the camera away. My camera just kept tipping over, and we got snow then after that. So it really put a hold on things in the garden. But today it's supposed to be incredibly beautiful outside for the very first time. And so I sent Ben first thing this morning to get some topsoil that we need and a little bit of mulched leaves so that we can start amending the soil and getting that ready to go. So we're going from grass to garden today. That seems a little bit intimidating, but really we're just laying down a really thick layer of cardboard and layering up some things. So we're gonna get started. We should be done in no time.
Excuses were 2 for a penny, but they've all gone out the window of this car. And when I feel the wind on my face, all that ever was is a rage. Today and not tomorrow.
It's really kind of incredible how much work these pigs have done for me in just a few days. We put 6 little piglets in here And they have been rooting up the garden and getting it ready for me. They have eaten all of the weeds, gotten rid of all this stuff, and really just kind of loosened everything up, and it's gonna be ready for me to plant. Now everybody who wants to put a garden in obviously doesn't have pigs readily available, but something to consider is that you might live out in the country and you might live near somebody who has piglets that would allow you to just borrow them for a time. A friend of mine yesterday just told me that she lived near a farmer who brought over some piglets in the spring and helped her to do just this very thing. She borrowed them. He would come over and take care of them during the day, but it was a good place for him to put his pigs for a time so that they could get on fresh soil, and it was great for her because the pigs did a lot of the work for her of cleaning out the space.
There's no time to borrow today. Well, something's gotta give today. It's a good day today and not tomorrow.
So in not that much of a time commitment, we turned grass into garden and growing space, and I'm really happy to be able to have enough space to extend what we were working on and get all of the potatoes in the ground that I need to for our family. So right now the plan is to get busy planting the rest of my potatoes, and then I'm gonna come back in with a really thick, heavy layer of mulch and line in between all of these beds and a little bit on top as well of all of my mounds. So without killing ourselves, we have a lot more growing space and we're ready to go. So don't be afraid to get growing this season, even if you have absolutely no infrastructure in place. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you next week on This Ohio Farmhouse.